What was, because there are some crazy moments being a youth pastor, just stuff you couldn't dream of. You couldn't even imagine it up in your head. Stephen King couldn't. What is the craziest thing you've experienced as a youth pastor?
Oh, man. I'd have to really rack my brain on that one. Are we talking funny stories or are we talking?
Yeah, we're talking humorous, not
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Let's avoid like the
the crazy ones.
There's two different books. We're going to open this book.
Okay. I was in the main sanctuary one time and it was late. We had some students here and all of a sudden the cops show up. Okay. Right?
Casually.
That's always an interesting thing when you have the cops start knocking on your door, and I'm like, oh, the cops are here. And then I go out there, and it turns out that a car full of students were in the parking lot, unbeknownst to me at the time. This one of the kids, who shall remain nameless, had a El Camino.
Oh, I know this kid.
Yeah, and and so he was driving around crazy in the parking lot, and the cops were rolling by, and they saw it, and they were like, "Who? Where are your parents? Where who's watching over you guys?" And so naturally they said, "Well, our youth pastor's here,
Jonathan Alameda.
Yeah,
is that guy? He's in charge of us."
Yeah. And so and a sergeant came by too, and it was like one of those deals. Had to like try to talk to these cops, like, "Look, I don't know what their deal is, but I will take care of them. I will watch over them. I will make sure they get home safe." But I mean, that's a tamed story.
Yeah.
We had our youth building when I first got in. We never had a youth building. We never had a youth room, which was kind of the motif for many years here. But we had what is now the main sanctuary used to be an OSCO building.
Yeah. We're in the OSCO building.
Yeah, this where we're at right now used to be the OSCO building. It was basically a giant 25,000 square foot empty building. And
empty grocery store.
There
were still fridges on the wall and stuff.
Wow.
Well, they had the freezers in the back of the building, which was one of those. So the church never wanted to replace the air conditioners on the building because they were going to demo the building anyway, so it was a waste of money. But in the summertime, it was really hot in here because we had the skate park in here.
Yeah.
And so kids were riding their BMXs, and you get 100 kids in here, and it just gets hot. We had a basketball hoop, and we had pool tables. So everybody was just running around. But in the summertime, when it's 110 degrees, and it was really hot, and you had one air conditioner, or maybe two, for 25,000 square feet, it was hot in this place. So one day the kids left all the doors open to the freezers.
Oh.
And
that's some good thinking.
Well, no, because Calvary ended up getting the bill for that month.
Oh.
And it was like astronomical because those refrigerators ran like 24/7.
Wow.
Because the kids left the doors open to cool the building down.
Wow.
So, things like that where you'd have to go into a staff meeting and talk to our senior pastor and answer some questions. Those were interesting. But we had concerts in here. It was fun.
Was it worth it?
Oh man, it was totally worth it. I wish I can go back.
No, the cold air.
No, it wasn't because it didn't even cool the building down, man. By the time cold air got into the building, it was already hot again. But no, we had so much fun in this building. There were a lot of great memories here.
I remember a few teachings very, very detailed. Or I remember a lot of details about those teachings as a fifth grader who snuck into this building because in fifth grade, you didn't go to the playground anymore. And I was like, I don't want to go to the playground. If I can't go to the playground, I'm just going to go to youth. And so I snuck into youth, and I still remember teachings as a fifth grader that just like completely changed my life to this day. What was like a night that you remember that was just like worship was on, the teaching was on, and the students just responded, and it just stood out to you as one of those really great nights in ministry and something you can still remember to this day?
I think for me, one of the nights that really stood out, and this is actually something I haven't seen a whole lot with the new generation of young people. When I was doing youth ministry here, Pete LaJoy was the West Campus youth pastor. And the nights that really stood out to us was when the teaching would be over. We would end the night in one last song. We met on Sunday nights. It was an off night. It was not a night where we had main service, and so the building and the facilities here at the church were just the youth. And so anybody who was here was either in junior high or in high school and or leaders. And I remember at the end of every service, we would close out the night with a song, a worship song, and then we would dismiss the students. But every now and then, it'd just be a move of the Spirit where we would close out that song, but the worship would just keep going. And then you'd have kids coming up for a prayer, and you would have kids kind of coming up broken, and they were crying about whatever was going on within their lives. And so you saw organically, just the move of the Spirit, and the worship leaders knew it, and they just kept playing, whether, Scott Billings would just keep going. And, we would tell kids, hey, you're free to leave. You're officially dismissed, but if you want to stay and hang back, we'll do a couple more songs. Our leaders will be up here to pray for you guys. And we just kind of saw a natural move of the Spirit. That was super encouraging. That wasn't every single week, but it was, it happened. And that was always something that really stood out to me, because it wasn't anything. I mean, the teaching was done. For all intents and purposes, the service was done. But the Holy Spirit was moving, and kids were being ministered to. And that was just so encouraging to me.
Yeah.